Hello, welcome. So today I'm going to show you some basics to Google Classroom. Now these are the basics for teachers, so just basically how to set up your classroom and get everything started. So when you first make your classroom, okay, you're going to see the class code. I've actually blocked this one out because I do use this. But one thing I want to point out down here is a Meet link. So you can generate a link for your class. And that link will just be for your class. So when students want to enter a Meet to have class virtually, they can actually go to the home screen and click this link. So I made a fake classroom right here. Okay, here's my class code, and here is my Meet link. So students can actually click this. Now this is not the only location. It's also located under Classwork, under the video camera for Meet. It is the exact same link, so if I were to click on this, it'll open up a new window and it will take me straight into the Google Meet. Another thing that I want to show you is your class code. If you are adding students directly in front of you or through Google Meet sharing your screen, you can actually make the class code bigger to display. Okay, now this is just a fake one that I made, so this code isn't going to work for very long. A couple of features at the top are for Stream, Classwork, People, and Grades. So let's look at Classwork. So here are some assignments that I've made in the past. Okay, I can actually create a brand new assignment. So if I want to make something, I'm going to hit Create. This gives me some options. I can make an assignment, quiz assignment, question, material, or reuse something from another class. Okay, if you click Reuse, it will actually show all the posts from all the other classes that you have. So if you are making a post for an entire grade level, they're just in different classes, you can make it once and then reuse it. So we're going to look at material. Material is strictly items that you want students to look at but not do any tasks for. So you give your material a title, a brief description. Here is a short video on how to use Google Docs. I don't know. Then you're going to click down here, the add or create. So if you add something, it means you've already made it. If you create it, you're making it from scratch. I've actually already made stuff, so I'm going to click my Google Drive, a link, a file, or YouTube. I'm actually going to go in my Google Drive and see what I can find. So here are a couple of how-to videos. Oh look, here is a how-to for Google Docs. So I'm going to click it. I know that it's selected when the blue bar down at the bottom shows up. I can click a different one, so I have two, or I can unclick to get only one. When I'm ready, I'm going to click Insert. Now again, this is just for students to view or look at. They are not completing a task. Looking over here on the right, I can put it in my Google Classroom. I could put it in all my other classrooms if I wanted to. I could give it to all my students, or I can select one or two. Okay? I can also put it under a topic. If you haven't created a topic, you're going to hit Create. I've already made a couple of topics, so I'm going to put it under Writing. When I'm ready, I can post my material, or I can schedule it for another time, save it as a draft, or completely throw it away. Let's look at schedule. So I am working on Sunday night, and I want this to release on Tuesday. So I'm going to click my calendar, and I'm going to say Tuesday the 25th, and I want it to release at 7 a.m. Now, trick of the trade is you don't want to put the exact time you want it to release. You want to go a couple minutes before, because it actually does take a couple of minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes for Google to get it onto all the servers. So if you are going to show this at 7 a.m., I recommend you release it at 6:45. So I'm going to schedule it. Okay, so now it shows up right here, but it's gray. So gray means that it's not ready to open yet. I need to actually wait for that designated time, or I need to edit it and release it immediately. Okay, now we're going to look at the next one. So I'm going to go back up to Create, and I'm going to make a question. So a question is an activity that all students can access and they will answer. Okay, I recommend not putting your question here because sometimes the kids don't fully read the directions that you want and they'll just answer the question. So what I recommend is putting the date and the week. Say it's the 24th, week 2. Okay, so whenever you organize it like this, the kids are able to see it based on the weeks, and then that way all the past weeks and things that they've completed, they can move on and move past. It makes it a little bit more organized and a little bit easier for students to find tasks and questions and assignments that they need to get done. After that, you are going to ask your question. So, what is your favorite subject in school and why? Okay, you could even give further directions. Make sure this is a 5th grade answer. Proper capit. Grammar, 4 to 5 sentences, etc. Okay, you can make this as specific or as ambiguous as you would like. Okay, you can even add information to your question. So I can add or create. Again, if you want to create something straight from scratch, you're going to click Create, and it gives you choices. I'm going to add something that is already in my Google Drive. So I'm going to add, I don't know, let's do this one. So again, I've selected the item, I've got the blue bar that's popped up, and I'm going to click Insert. Okay, this will actually allow the students to see the video that I'm showing or whatever material that I want them to see. Over here on the right side, this is really important for teachers, is you can post this to a different Google Classroom. You can show it to all of the students, much like material, but you can also give it a specific amount of points. So if I'm doing just an easy peasy simple question, I don't want it worth 100, maybe 5. I could even make it ungraded and just have the kids mark it done. Okay. I can pick a due date. I can make it due next week at, I don't know, 3 p.m. when school lets out, and then I can put it under a topic. If I want to create a topic, I'm just going to click Create, and then I could say beginning of the year. I misspelled beginning. Those extra N's always get me. Okay, I do have 2 options down here. So students can reply to each other or they can edit their answer. I like to kind of make this a little bit of a discussion board, so I give them the opportunity to reply. If you're telling students, asking them something a little bit personal, a little bit more private, when you unclick this, it hides everyone's answer so no one can see it. Okay, this one is not that personal of a question, but if you choose, you want no one to see it or you want all the kids to see the answers and respond. So when I'm ready, I can click Ask, or I can schedule it, save it as a draft, or discard it. So right now we're going to ask it immediately. So it's going to send it straight into my Google Classroom. And I put it under Math. Oh no, I put it beginning of year, and it's right there for the students to see. Okay. Looking next at quiz assignment. So you can make a quiz and an assignment, and it's automatically going to generate a Google form for you. This is completely blank. It has nothing on it. So be sure you go in there and add information or add your own. Okay. So I can label this iReady Module 1 Quiz 1. And it is the 24th, week 2. Okay. Give it a title. Please take this quiz by Friday. You can add as many directions as you want or as little. Now remember to keep in mind you want it to be precise. You want the kids to be sure to understand what's going on, so it has to be very clear. Okay. And then when you're ready, so if I want to make a blank quiz, okay, all I have to do is click on it, and it will open up into a brand new window with a blank quiz. So I can go in and I can customize this as much as I would like. Okay. Now, if you want to know how to customize a blank quiz, then go ahead and look for one of the other videos. But right now, I'm going to just show you how to add one. So I'm going to add a quiz from my Google Drive. And I actually have one made. So I can go into my Google Drive. I can go into academics. You can go as far into your drive as you want. I can go to math resources and unit 1 place value. And here I have a unit 1 quiz ready to go. So I have it selected and I'm going to click insert. Okay, this will actually give the quiz to my students. Now I have a couple of choices here. If your students are on Chromebooks, you can lock it so they can't go to any other tab or area in the computer until the quiz is done. If they're on a desktop, it makes it a little bit harder. Okay. Be sure to delete the blank quiz because otherwise the kids will get very confused. Okay. And allow the grades to import. So if you're going to do multiple choice or anything, you want it to be imported into your classroom. You can decide how many points you want it to be. You can do a due date, a topic. You could even add a rubric depending on how you've done this. If you're wondering how to do a rubric, I do have another video on how to add it, and you can watch that when you are ready. For now, I'm going to just assign this quiz. So I'm going to assign it. Now, I didn't give it a topic, so it popped up right up here at the top. Okay, when you want kids to do something without a topic, or you're not sure where it should go, or you want them to see it first, then put it right here at the top. Okay. So now let's take a look at creating an assignment. So an assignment is a task that you want them to do. It's not a test or a quiz or something that is a little bit more high stakes, but this is just an activity you would like them to complete. So I would like my students to complete their pet rock story. And I'm going to add some directions in here. Write about your pet rock and an adventure he goes on. You can give as little or as much direction as you would like. Again, go back down here to add or create. So I can add something. I can even add a file from my computer. And you can add multiple. You can add as many things as you want into the assignment. Okay. So I'm going to add a file, but I'm going to upload it. So I'm going to browse my computer. Oh, look at all these cool little things. So I'm going to do a screenshot, because why not? So there's a screenshot that I just took. Here's an important feature. Okay, when you add something that's not a video, like a document or something like that, you get this choice. Now, right now I have students can view the file. I can have students edit the file. I can even make a copy for each student. So each of these features does something different. So this one is just something that you want them to see and read. You don't want them to be able to change anything in the document. This one, students can edit the file. That's the entire class. So if you're doing a whole group, entire class project, or an entire group project, and you all want to be working on the same PowerPoint, Word document, whatever, then you're going to click Students Can Edit. If you want to make a copy, this is where it's almost like you go to the copier and you make 25 copies and you give each student their own paper. So you can make a copy for each student to have, and then they can edit it, but no one else can edit the original. Okay? You can do this with just about anything. So I can go to my Google Drive. I can go to, let's not pick a video. Let's pick an actual something. All right, so I made a Who Am I descriptive paragraph PowerPoint. Okay, so I can actually give my students access to edit this file or make a copy for each student. And I can keep adding as many things as I want. Same thing over on the right. One thing I do want to point out, if you are doing groups, you can go to all students and you can select the students that you want in that group. Now, since I only have one student in this class, I can give them access to it or not. Okay. This is really great if you're doing small groups and you want everyone working on, say, holidays around the world, or everyone working on a different biome in science. Okay. You can assign it or you can schedule it for another time. So I'm going to assign it. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some other key features. So right here are all of my topics. I can have as many or as few as I want. If you want students, because sometimes students look at this and they get really, really overwhelmed, especially when you're adding things continually throughout the entire year. So students can actually go over to the topics and click on the specific topic and it will show everything for writing. So these are all the materials that I have in writing. Okay? And when I click on it, I can see what students have turned in. I can look at the instructions and then I can see the student work. So one student turned it in, and then assigned is how many people have not done it yet. So I can actually look at this and I can see their work right here. I can click it open and I can see it. When I'm ready, I can even give them points. Now I put in a rubric here, so I could go in and do a drop-down menu and I can click the number of points that I want them to have. So let's say they got 3 out of 5. Okay, and I can go through and give them all kinds of information in the rubric. Now, if you're very confused, don't worry, I do have a rubrics video that you can watch, okay? So I've gone through and I've graded this student's work. I've looked at all of the rubrics. Now I can actually click this blue button and I can return it to them. It asks me, are you sure you want to return it? I can even write a comment, great work, keep trying. And then I click return. So this automatically gives it back to the student and then they can see their grade as well as any comments that I did leave. If ever you want to get out of this page, just click back to your classroom and it takes you right back to your stream. Looking at the next tab, because we've talked about majority of the stuff in Classwork, you can add things to the Google Calendar. Any due dates that you do put on there will be put into the Google Calendar, and then Google automatically makes a class drive folder for all the student work that is turned in. Now, one thing that you do want to keep in mind is if a student throws their work in the trash on their Google Drive, it actually won't give you access to that assignment that they gave you anymore. So clicking on people, you can see all the people that are in my class. I have one teacher and one student. I can add parents if I want. So I can invite a student's parents. So I type in their email and then I click invite. Okay? Or I can invite them through a class link. I can even add teachers. So again, invite teachers and then I type in their email, or if they're already in since APS is all connected, you start typing their name and they will pop up. Now, some teachers are worried about parents being able to access or go into the kids' Google account and be a part of the classroom. So APS has this great feature where if the student has the APS email, then they get access to the classroom. The parent does not. The parent can actually see from the outside how the student is doing, but they cannot actively be a part of the classroom. The final tab is grades. So you can click on grades and you can see all the assignments that you've scheduled, done, and the grades for the student. You can see ones that were done late. You can view what they turned in. Okay. For ones that are not done, you can return or view submission. So this gives you an option of seeing all the students' grades and where they are at.